Okay, welcome back. Not mic'd up today, so this might not come in super clear, and it's really windy. For those of you that have been following along with the well problems we've been having, I'm just here to give you a little bit of an update. I've done a bunch of things. I couldn't capture them on video, just a one-man show here, so it's hard to set up the tripod and whatever, do the work. But I'll turn this around. I had to re-excavate the well. That's one of the reasons, if you look on one of our previous videos, is we bought that backhoe. So although Joe was here and did an awesome job about a month ago, I had to come back, dig it back out again, and I went a little deeper. There's 3 crocks there, kind of 1, 2, and then 3, I guess. That hose coming out is in the bottom of the second crock, so there's about half a crock showing. Anyway, I dug right down to the base, right to the very bottom, which has been a bit of a challenge. As you see, all the water that runs from up there, it's causing landslides. This was dug out, I'd say pretty much to about here, but now all of this stuff, with all the groundwater, which is the big reason for the crappy water we have anyway, keeps falling in. So anyway, what I've done, I've got to work fast because I've got to get this filled back in before the rest of it goes, and I don't have the well connection to the house reconnected yet. So I ran a new line in that hole with the foot valve, and then that's the new line we ran about a month ago, maybe almost 2 months ago now. Anyway, I've got to reconnect those, and then I can backfill. But to sort of bring you up to speed, that's foundation wrap. Kind of the same thing you're going to see on new construction houses. Instead of the tar and the membrane that they used to put on, now they're putting this heavy gauge plastic wrap. It's usually secured with anchors. I've just got it wrapped around on top of itself and then secured with, for now, with a ratchet strap. You can see there how it's just sort of folded in on itself. What I was thinking was that if I could expose all this and then wrap it, the groundwater would hit this and eventually go down, hopefully filter through the ground, stuff that didn't just run off the surface. And then I wouldn't have such cloudy, muddy, sandy water inside the well. I don't know if you can see inside the well, but without losing my phone, it's not nice. It's not nice in there at all. So another thing I did is I got some Quickcrete. It's like an instant patch mortar. And where the seams were, where the crocks sit on top of each other, I mix it up in a bag. It's pretty cool stuff. You just add water, mix it up in the bag, and I tried to seal the rings. So if any water does get through this membrane or come up from underneath the membrane, at least that mortar will stop it from seeping into the cracks on the well casing. There's my sort of jerry-rig quick fix-it sump pump. It's just a bucket, Home Depot bucket I drilled holes into. And then I've just got it running out along the surface and just dumping out there. All this muddy, heavy clay here is going to have to go back. Oop. All this muddy clay here is going to have to go back into that hole, which means I've got to bring the backhoe back down this little treacherous path here. There's the backhoe way out there, sitting over there. And of course, just because it's me, the backhoe's sitting on a flat tire. So that's going to be probably the next segment of this video, is me trying to get the tire back on the rim, get it reinflated, and then muscle it back down here to fill this hole in. So that's where we're at. Okay, so again, sorry for the poor audio. Like I said, I'm not mic'd up. I just wanted to show I've got the well connection done now. That is pretty much where it is there. I had to cut it off just to get the excavator bucket in here just to dig this out. And it goes through into the foundation liner there. And I've got a bit of a hole. What I did was I melted a hole with my my torch. Come on, focus. And it melted it a little bit too much. So I've got some blue skin tape, and I've got some caulking mortar, some sealant. So I'm going to put it around the pipe and then put the blue skin tape on. And I think I'm going to use the blue skin. I've got quite a bit of it. Jesus, I almost went right in the hole. That little slippy patch right there, yep, almost sent me right into the mud puddle. and that's a hell of a mud puddle. Anyway, where it overlaps here, right there, I've got some blue skin. I'm just going to run that all the way down the side of that if I can get in there without sinking up to my hips. It's like quicksand this time of year. Me and ladders, I always seem to take the express route down, which I do not particularly care for. There we go. So there's a blue skin I was talking about. I've known about it. I've never really used it. I don't know where to put it. I'm pretty sure, as with most things, it's got to be fairly dry before you put it on. I'm just going to put a little shot of this caulking around that pipe. If it's not completely cured on the end already. Used this one before, so. There we go. Now, little trick I found is you put a marette on the end of your caulking tube. It'll keep it from drying out for next time. I've pretty much taken too much off of that now for that work to work, but it is what it is. I don't know much about this stuff. I just know that it's supposed to be stupid sticky. I think it's meant for windows and flashing. And I know you can buy the bigger rolls to do like, I guess, foundations and stuff for RV roofs and things like that. But again, I'm not being sponsored or anything by Blue Skin. I know the name. I went and got some. I thought maybe it would help me. I think it's as easy as steal and pick. Let's try peel and stick. Ow. Maybe time for a sharp knife. Now, I've also opted to put the bumpy side out on the foundation liner. I just thought maybe that would hold the soil a little better. I don't know. I'm just making this up as I go. I might cut that again. Smaller patches. It's easier. I'm on borrowed time here with my little piece of plywood, slowly sinking away. And I'm not wearing rubber boots. Yeah, so just peel and stick. Not sure that's going to do what I want it to do, but worth a try. I'm going through all this to keep the groundwater out of the well. It didn't seem right to leave a big friggin' hole right where I'm drawing the water, so. If anybody out there has more experience than I do, which is pretty well all of it with blueskin, just drop me a note in the comments and let me know if you think I could have done this better. I'm sure I could have. I definitely don't mind the input. It's not sticking extremely well to that plastic. Maybe I should have pulled it, stretched it out, maybe, activated a little better. But we are going to have all this soil or clay, whatever you want to call it, backing up to this, so yeah, it does stick very well to itself. Jeez, that was close. Almost guaranteed one wipeout per video. Seems to be the way. The fun part's going to be hovering over Lake Doom over here, trying to get this other side finished. Wonder if I can cut that out. No, that wasn't very exactly what I'm looking for. There we go. Custom. That's what that is. Some custom work right there. Okay, one more piece and then I'll quit wasting everybody's time here. A little trick again, maybe. Okay, is that watertight? Probably not. Is it better than leaving it wide open? Absolutely. Okay, gonna have to reposition and try to get to the other side and get some of this on that seam on the back without dying. Here we go. Okay, so I managed to get everything out of the well, cleared up. Now I'm heading over to the backhoe, through all the mud, see if I can get this flat tire fixed. Now, the one thing that I'm a little concerned about, I'll show you what I found here. I found this lovely piece of metal tubing right over there in the driveway. And over there, right where I drove through. What I'm hoping is, isn't that nice? Look at that burned out trailer behind me. Isn't that sweet? The things you inherit when you buy these properties. Anyways, my hope is I didn't drive over that and puncture this hole, or puncture this tractor tire. It's probably got a couple years left in it, but it does kind of look like it's a little old. The one on the other side is very new. It's still got the nubs and stuff on it. But as you can see, I came out to this, basically sitting on the rim. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and start the backhoe, put the outrigger arms out, stabilizers, whatever you want to call them, take the weight off that tire, and hope the bead isn't broken. If the bead's broken, then we got another. We're gonna have to get creative with some ether and maybe the blowtorch or something, pop it back on, reset it. So I'm gonna try and get it started and lift it up and at least start from there, see where we're at. Now she's an old girl. You can see me. She's an old tractor, as we've learned previous videos. All the starting grief we had last time was because it was shipped with about a teaspoon worth of diesel in it, enough that Mike could get it flashed up and moved half off the trailer and then never run again. So you saw all the grief we went through with that one. So I'm popping the air cleaner out. I'm going to expose the intake. I've got a can of ether, a couple of quick shots. She should flash right up. That's the theory, anyway. If the battery isn't dead, that is. I can get a better shot of that in there. She's not going to give me any love today, of course. Of course, of course. So I don't want to make another video where you're sitting there watching me play with a backhoe all day long. So I'll try one more time and then I'll switch to something else. And I don't think that's happening. She sat for a couple of days. Battery does not hold a charge. The fun continues. Alrighty. Okay. Okay, we're going to take advantage of the sunny weather while we have it. This is the first load of junk from the front of the house. From there, that we're going to drive down there past the trailer and throw in a metal bin. Okay, making progress. Load number 2. Not to offend anyone in the audience, but it looks like gypsies used to live here. Looks like I'm going to take part of a caravan or something. Okay, load number 3. Starting to get a little more creative. But at least the junk under here is starting to look a little better. This stuff's frozen into the ground still. Let's give this a shot. See how far we make it. Okay, this is load 4. Not quite as bad as the other ones, but heading down the road.